Because it is beautiful life to be alive. Yeet! What is up, main event baseball YouTube fans? And I hope you guys are having a better week or a better and Wednesday night than I am. And I'm going to explain why yours truly is having a beyond horrible and Wednesday night. So I will make my file of complaint and explain to you guys why that is. But I do have a feeling that you guys are watching this episode on a Friday Eve or a Thursday. So happy Thursday and happy Friday Eve, guys. Other than that, if you enjoy this episode or this postgame show, make sure you hit thumbs up and like, and don't forget to subscribe down below in the comment section if you haven't done so already. So you want to know an interesting thing about yours truly? I believe in luck, but I don't believe in luck when it comes to the game of baseball. Now, we're going to explain all this in just a little bit, okay? But tonight was game 2 of the split 6-game series between the Ogden Raptors and the Boise Hawks. In another way, tonight was game 2 of the 3-game series. And last night was nothing but pure domination by the Boise Hawks, as last night they beat the Ogden Raptors 15-5. But remember, that was last night. Tonight is a new opportunity and, of course, a new game. So before we get into it, guys, I wanted to say that there were 2 players in the Boise Hawks lineup tonight that were activated off the IL. That is the injured list. Those 2 players were Michael O'Hara and Jake Sisko. So Jake Sisko was actually making his Boise Hawks debut tonight against the Ogden Raptors. Guys, Jake Sisko is no stranger to the Pioneer Independent Baseball League, because he has actually played for another team in the Pioneer Independent Baseball League, and that is the Billings Mustangs. But other than that, guys, it was a softball matchup at Hawks Memorial Stadium on a Hope Day Wednesday night. It was also what I like to call Cameron Dayton Day for the Boise Hawks, because Cameron Dayton was the starting pitcher tonight for the Boise Hawks, guys. Now, the first inning was a really good first inning for Cameron Dayton, although the very first hitter of the game would be Junior Valentine. Now, what's really interesting about this, guys, is it took 8 pitches for Cameron Dayton to get the leadoff hitter out for the Ogden Raptors in the top of the first inning. 8 pitches. So really, I really was interested in that, because it was a battle between Junior Valentine and Cameron Dayton. Unfortunately for Junior Valentine and the Ogden Raptors, Cameron Dayton would win that matchup. He would then get the next 2 batters in a row out, and it would be a 1-2-3 inning, guys. And it started well for the Boise Hawks. The bottom of the first, AJ Folds, boom, a leadoff solo home run. That was an absolutely no doubter. That put the Hawks in front 1-0, but it would not last long, because then the top of the second, after getting the first 2 batters out, the Ogden Raptors would get 2 runs on the board by a 2-run homer by Ferraro, guys, and it made the Ogden Raptors then had a 2-1 lead, guys. And then it wouldn't last long again. The bottom of the second, Jake Cisco, in his very first at-bat of a Boise Hawk, would get an RBI single to right field. He tied the game up at 2 apiece. 1-for-1 on the night. Jake Cisco, yeet! Guys, but again, that would not last long either. The top of the fourth inning, the Ogden Raptors would get a lead-off double. They would end up scoring that run on an air, guys. It was a brutal night for the Boise Hawks, and we're going to get back to that in just a little bit, guys. But the bottom of the third is one of the innings tonight that made me pissed off to the point I wanted to just pack up my stuff, leave, go home, and never go to Hawks Memorial Stadium again, okay? This is why, okay? This is the bottom of the third inning, all right? So bottom of the third inning, you want to know what happened? I'll tell you what freaking happened. Okay, so bottom of the third inning, okay? First batter was AJ Folds. He would reach on an air by the pitcher. He would actually bounce the ball, hit a ball to the pitcher. They would throw it over the first baseman's head, so it was an E1. Next batter was Tyler Best, the Boise, Idaho owned Tyler Best. He would do a 1-3 sack. So it was a sack bunt. Bunted to the pitcher, throw to first. All right, so AJ Folds is now in scoring position with one man out. Next batter was Ethan Underwood, and Ethan Underwood does what Ethan Underwood does, strikes out. Okay, next batter, Pankadi Pasquale, he would reach on an E6, so the Ogden Raptors making 2 errors in the top of the third inning. Next batter would be Boogie Jeremiah Bagoa. He would have a grinding at bat and win it with a walk. And then Logan Meyer would do a 6-3 put out. Now, what pissed me off is that the Boise Hawks had the bases loaded with only one man out, and they ended up not even scoring. Really? Are you kidding me? Do we need to go back to T-ball? Come on. I could watch a T-ball team win that inning. And we're talking about a team that is a independent league team with grown men. Seriously, that's why. But I didn't leave. I had a duty to do and a job. So, but guys, let me sum up something real quick, okay? There was some guys that had a phenomenal night. Cameron Dayton pitched his butt off. Unfortunately, got a no decision, but a no decision is better than a loss, okay? But here's the thing. The Boise Hawks made 5 errands, ladies and gentlemen. Ogden made 2 errands. Now, I'm not going to show you the walk-off win for the Hawks tonight because I got that walk-off W on video. But I don't think the Boise Hawks deserve a win tonight. As a matter of fact, on my calendar that I marked for a win and a loss, I already put it down as a loss and a win for Ogden. Because I believe the Ogden Raptors should have won that game. And the baseball gods just gave it to Boise. So I marked tonight's game as a loss for the Boise Hawks because they deserve that. So maybe if I'm going to be in a nice mood tomorrow on the pregame show, I will show you tonight's walk-off. But that is only if I feel like I should do it. Otherwise, I'm just not. And if you guys are going to be mad at me and pissed off at me, I get it. Hey, I wouldn't blame you for being pissed off at me either. I wouldn't. Maybe you can sue me, file a lawsuit against me for being rude on YouTube. I wouldn't blame you. But I'm an honest man, and I say honest, and I speak my mind, whether people like it or not, okay? The Boise Hawks only got the win because the baseball gods said so. If the baseball gods did not say so, Ogden would have got the win. And that's why I wrote down that the Ogden Raptors would win tonight's ball game, even though the Boise Hawks won. All right, so there you go. I vented. If you don't like it, I apologize for being rude, but I'm also being blunt honest. Maybe it's a wake-up call. All right. Before I do end the video, I do want to send out an apology. I want to apologize to the Ogden Raptors for not getting a win when they should have gotten a win. I want to apologize for the amount of bad luck they had tonight, because it's unacceptable. The Ogden Raptors should have won the game, and the Ogden Raptors were screwed out of a win. Screwed out of a win, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your breaking news of the night. And the Ogden Raptors are going to be pissed off, and they are going to come for vengeance on the Boise Hawks tomorrow. I guarantee you, tomorrow, Game 3 or Game 6, it will be vengeance for the Ogden freaking Raptors.